So we can move on to what are the picks? Which are the players that you looked on after watching the whole tournament? Let's go like the main player that you were actually impressed by, the best batsman and the best bowler, and also the best young player because there's so much of young talent over in IPL. So let's get on with let's start with Rohit. What's your picks?
So yes, so I'm sharing my choices from each team. So what I've done is I've divided the players from the best these categories by team. So for me, in Royal Challengers Bangalore, my main player for the team, I believe, has been Yuvendra Chahal. His wickets, his bowling has been critical or has been the backbone for most of the wins of Bangalore. For me, he's the main player in the team. Virat Kohli has been the best batsman. Yes, there's a debate Virat Kohli or De Villiers, but Kohli's number overall has been better. There has been some impactful performances from De Villiers, but overall, I will go with Virat Kohli. The best bowler has been again Chahal, so he's the main player, so he's the best bowler. And the best young player has been Devadutt Padikkal. Now, I think Padikkal has now overall more runs than Virat Kohli, I believe. So Padikkal has been extremely impressive, not just as a young player. He has already scored more than 400 runs this season. So he has been extremely impressive as a young player. So one to look forward to for India in the future. So that's my picks from Royal Challengers Bangalore. Now coming to Delhi Capitals, for me the main player has been Shreyas Iyer. Now that would be surprising for many. They'll be thinking why not Shikhar Dhawan or Rabada because they're the main run scorers and the wicket taker. But for me, Shreyas Iyer has been playing well as a batsman. To credit to him, so he has done his part well. But more than that, captaining a team of of big players like such as Rabada, Shikhar Dhawan, Hetmeyer, Stoinis is not easy. You are captaining a team of these players is not easy, and he has done that really well, and he has been doing that really well for me. So according to me, so for that reason, I have gone with Shreyas Iyer has been my main player for the Delhi team. I think he has been that linchpin in the batting order also. Like he in the first couple of matches when Delhi were actually winning, we could see when the first match when they actually collapsed initially, first three wickets went off easily. He kind of gave the team that experience and in the middle order, which is something which is really good to see from a player who's young, and that shows he's a natural leader of the team. Okay, so for me, he's the best main player. As the best batsman, it's been Shikhar Dhawan. He has scored runs. He started off the season very poor, but then after that, he had this sudden turnaround where he just went from 0 to 100, and then he's went 100 actually. He scored 200s back to back, and even before that, he scored a 60. So and he has been the leading run scorer for them. So he has been the best batsman for Delhi, and best bowler has been Rabada, leading wicket taker of the tournament and the purple cap holder. So yes, it's Rabada and the best young player for Delhi. It's been difficult to pick who it is. So I've gone with Prithvi Shaw. Yes, Prithvi Shaw has now dropped from the team, has not been playing well. But we have to remember that he started off the season really well. He scored a couple of 50s in the first 4 5 matches. He did play really well. So for me, Prithvi Shaw, from the young player point of view, he has been the best player so far. Coming to Chennai, Chennai has had a poor season, but Sam Curran has been the shining light so far in the tournament, and for me, that he has been the main player. Sam Curran has been their main player. The best batsman has been Faf du Plessis. Duplessis started off the season well, really well actually. He scored a lot of runs. Even when the team was losing, he was the only one who was actually keeping the Chennai batting afloat. So he did really well. The best bowler for Chennai, tough pickings again. I've gone with Deepak Chahar. Nothing outstanding he has done, but at least relatively he has been the better performer for me. Again, he has been up and down, but I feel he did ball well, relatively the best in that bowling lineup. So I gone with Deepak Chahar. Best young player or new player. Uh, I didn't have a young player, new player till now. So given the last two matches, how Chennai has performed, so now I feel that Chennai has Ruturaj has his their best young player. So that's the only pick I've actually gone for. Okay, so now going forward, Mumbai Indians, Jasprit Bumrah has been the main player. There was a stat in cricket for just shown where they were showing the smart player. They had this smart player, not MVP, but a smart player facts, a smart stat, and in which they were showing Jasprit Bumrah was leaps and bounds better than the next best bowler. And that shows, Jasprit Bumrah has been the best bowler in the tournament so far, for in purely from the smart fact or smart stat what they calculate, and that's because he has been picking up wickets, key wickets, actually top order wickets. Like a lot of Rabada wickets have been those late order wickets, but Bumrah has been picking those top order wickets and has been bowling economically. So Jasprit Bumrah has been the best bowler so far, and the main player for Mumbai Indians. Quinton de Kock has been the best batsman. I was actually debating between de Kock and Surya Kumar Yadav. I've gone for Quinton de Kock purely because he scored more runs as of now. So I've gone with de Kock, but it's a one or two, him or Yadav. Then Jasprit Bumrah has been the best bowler. I just explained why. And the best young player or new player, I've actually gone for Rahul Chahar. Rahul Chahar for me has impressed me a lot in this tournament so far. He is a leg spinner, so he will find it difficult to find a spot in the Indian team. But he can bat a bit too. So I think that's where he kind of weighs over Chahal when it comes to test playing or test performance. I really have to dig deep into how he has done in the Ranji team. But for me, Rahul Chahar has been the best young player for Mumbai so far. So let's leave it there for now. Uh, for KKR, the main player. Now here, I picked Shubman Gill as my main player. Now people will be like, oh no, that's not the pick. Maybe why not Cummins? Maybe why not others? But I've gone for Shubman Gill because I feel he has created a consistency in the team. He's given a consistency in the team which not many batsmen did in KKR. And I feel KKR batting has been their you know point where they actually been underperforming, and Shubman Gill has been their consistent performer. So that's the reason why I've gone for KK Shubman Gill as their main performer, and he's also the best batsman. Best bowler have gone for Chakravarti. Now, again, people might ask why not Cummins, but I like Chakravarti not just because it suddenly came and took 5 wickets in one match, but he has been bowling really well. He's not a youngster per se. He's what 30 years old now, so he's not a youngster, but he's a new face in the team, and he has bowled really well. And he's shown his experience playing in the domestic circuit, and his pace variation has been incredible. I saw some deliveries over well over 100 kilometers per hour, and some in the early 90s. So he varies that pace really well. So, and he got selected also into the Indian squad. So yes, Chakravarti has been my main bowler, best bowler for KKR for me. The best young player, Shubman Gill again. He's a youngster. We have to remember that he has been the main player for KKR, but he's still a young player, so I've gone for him. For Punjab, the main player, I don't think there's a doubt in that. It's KL Rahul. I mean, 595 runs. He is the main player. He is the best batsman. He has been the captain also of the team. So yes, he is the main player by a distance for Punjab for me. And for batsman, he has been the best batsman of the tournament so far. So 595 runs in 12 matches says all. So best batsman KL Rahul, best bowler Mohammad Shami, 20 wickets so far. So that explains why it is. And Punjab bowling is slightly inexperienced, and I feel Shami has shown a leadership or shown that he's the main spearhead of Punjab bowling. So that's a plus point for Punjab. So I've gone Mohammad Shami in the bowling. The best young player or new player. Now this one, I did think for some time who to go for. I was actually thinking about Bishnoi or to go for Ashdeep. I've actually debated on that. I've actually gone for Bishnoi. Okay, Bishnoi is my main best young bowler for Punjab. Given he's so young, and he's a leg spinner and bowling well, so I've gone for Bishnoi there. For Sunrisers Hyderabad, the main player Rashid Khan is my main player. I mean, he has been impressive. He has been extremely impressive. And recently, he had a spell of 4 overs for 7 runs for 3 wickets. Just shows how what an impact he has as a bowler. People say that he'll be figured out next year. Next year, he's still not been figured out. He is, I think, one of the best bowlers going around in the world for in T20. Uh, for best batsman, David Warner. Not the best season for David Warner, given what he has done in the last 4 5 years, but still relatively of the batsmen in Hyderabad, David Warner has been the best batsman, so I've gone for him. Best bowler, I explained Rashid Khan, and I just explained why it is so. Best young player or new player. Now that is Natarajan for me, for Hyderabad. Now Natarajan is not a young player. He's 29 years old, but he has been extremely impressive. His pinpoint Yorkers has been really, really good. Left arm bowling is another, part of his which actually make him stand out. And he has performed really, really well for the team. So I've gone with him as the best new player, I would say, not a young player. So that's Natarajan. Now coming to the last team, Rajasthan Royals. Main player has been Jofra Archer. Again, a very good stat for that is there's something called MVP they show in Dream 11 stats in the IPL. So in MVP, Jofra Archer leads the MVP. He's above Rabada and above KL Rahul also. So he's an MVP so far, and that's also because he scores some quick runs down the order. Also, there were a couple of innings where he comes in the end and starts scoring sixes. At one point, Rajasthan was struggling to find an opening combination, and they were opening with Uttapa, and I really felt they should have tried Jofra Archer as an opener. Jofra Archer has been super impressive, and I still feel Jofra Archer, if he opens the batting, can make serious impact. So Jofra Archer for me is the main player. Best batsman. Oh, very tough picking so far for Rajasthan. This is where they have really underperformed. They did not have a batsman, standout batsman till now. We expected Butler, Smith, all Sanju Samson to all to perform. None of them have really stood out. So relatively speaking, I've gone with Sanju Samson. He has 300 plus runs, so I've gone with him. But again, it's a relative picking, I would say. Best bowler so far, Jafra Archer. I explained why. I think there was a stat which Karan had explained during the Rajasthan review, where he said that the economy of Jafra Archer is up 6 point something, whereas the rest of the team is 10 point something. That just shows how good Jofra Archer has been for Rajasthan and how good a bowler he has been. So that's easy. Uh, Best young player, new player. I've gone for best new player, Tewatia. He has been a revelation for Rajasthan this season. He comes and balls those 4 overs, which is what something I expected from him to ball at least 3-4 overs, of leg spin, and he has been, I would say, good at it, average maybe we can say. But what he has actually impressed me was his big hitting in the later order. I did not expect him to continue that. Yes, he came and hit 5 sixes in 1 over from Cottrell. I thought, okay, maybe his day, and he did that. But he has consistently done that, and he has won them more matches hitting down the order. So his finishing for Rajasthan has been extremely impressive. And for that reason, I think all round performance, I've gone him to be the best new player for Rajasthan. So that's Tewatia. So that's my pick of players for the tournament so far. Off to you, Karan.
Yeah. So thanks, Rohit. So me and Rohit have been really active this entire season with respect to IPL. We've been having regular discussions of who is good, who is bad, what needs to be improved, what team could be chosen for the Australian tour, and so on and so forth. And from whatever Rohit discussed, I pretty much agree with everything he's mentioned, apart from a few changes I have with respect to my main player, best batsman, best bowler, or young and new player for the team, right? So when you talk about RCB, I feel Virat Kohli is the main player. It was Chahal for Rohit. I feel Kohli is more important to the team because he gets that aggressive characteristic or change or characteristic approach into the team. He gives those RCB players that character that you have seen he's a live wire on the field, and that I think transforms from him to the entire team, and that is why I feel he's the most important player in the team. Plus, he's a good fielder, even though he had a match where he dropped a few catches. But predominantly, you expect him to always be there and take catches. And he is their highest run getter at this point of time. Even though Devdas Patikal is right behind him, but Kohli is there. So I feel he is the most prominent player for RCB. Uh, Coming to Delhi Capitals, for Delhi Capitals, uh, Rohit felt that Prithvi Shaw was the best young or new player. I just felt that Delhi Capitals did not have any good young or a new player that performed for them throughout the season. Because I feel that even though Prithvi Shaw scored about 209 runs in 10 innings, the intent was lacking. And then they dropped him, and then they got Ajinkya Rahane, who also has been struggling. Right. So from that perspective, their other 10 players or their overall team, which we knew is going to perform, is performing, but they didn't have anyone who was out of the blue like a Tewatia who came and who changed the scene. or someone like a Bishnoi or Natarajan or a Gill who came and who won them a game. So I feel Delhi Capitals probably needs to work on that aspect of their team in the next season. When we talk about CSK, Rohit felt that their main player was Sam Curran because predominantly he's been bowling 4 overs and batting at 4 and 5. In some games, he came ahead of Dhoni as well. So you think that he's the most important player. But I feel Faf du Plessis has been their most important player because he's done bulk of their scoring, I feel. He's their highest run getter. He scored about 401 runs. But the one thing I feel du Plessis is important is his fielding. When he fields on and long off, those catches he takes, even though Chennai didn't have a good season, it's said that catches win matches, and du Plessis has taken some stellar catches this season. So apart from that, his fielding aspect of it, I feel makes him more important of a player to the CSK side. Uh, then when we come to KKR, Rohit felt that the most important player was Shubman Gill, and Shubman Gill has been in good form this season. He's their highest run getter with 404 runs and 33, an average of 33.6. But I feel that if a team changes their captain mid-season and makes Ian Morgan their captain, that shows that there is something there where they trust Morgan more over Dinesh Karthik. There's also the thing where Ian Morgan was a mentor to, Brendan McCullum was a mentor to Ian Morgan, and that is why that partnership they felt would be more better for the team. So I feel Ian Morgan is their most important player because he's already a World Cup winning captain. He should have gotten that mentality into the team, but I feel that they've just struggled a bit. But with respect to his batting performance and his captaincy, I think he can actually drive that team to probably qualify into the semifinals. I think it's a bit hard for them, but I feel if the one person who needs to do that, I think that's Ian Morgan, and that's why I feel he is the most important player in the KKR side. Now, the other difference of opinion me and Rohit had was regarding the best young and new player for the Kings 11 Punjab. Rohit went ahead with Ashdeep Singh, in my opinion, has been an amazing death bowler, and that is the biggest advantage for Punjab because they have found Ashdeep Singh. They can straight up use Mohammad Shami for 3 overs in the first 10 overs where he gets them the wickets. Otherwise, in the initial few matches, Mohammad Shami would only bowl for 1 or 2 overs in the power play, and they would have to keep him for the death overs. But because of Arshdeep Singh coming in left arm bowler, he bowls really well. He has a lot of variation that has eased off the pressure of Shami. But in my opinion, their best young player has been Bishnoi. He's their second highest wicket taker. He's taken 12 wickets in 12 games. And the one thing I like about him is he has that courage. He will go behind the batsman. There was this one game in which I think he got smacked for about 24 or 28 runs in 1 over, but he came back and he took 3 wickets in that game. I forgot which game that was, but it just shows the character he has. I feel he should definitely get into the Indian team at some point of time. He has a good bowling economy of 7.2. That's better than Shami, and he's bowled about 43 overs throughout the season. So yeah, he's not he's not been that expensive as well, and he just gets that extra character into the team. Also, he's very economical, and I like his character. So I felt Bishnoi was their best performer, best young performer. The last difference of opinion we had was with respect to the main player for Hyderabad. I feel that David Warner is their main player with respect to this season. Rohit said Rashid Khan was their main performer. I totally agree. Rashid Khan is, I think, the best. I think one of the top two bowlers this season has been Rashid Khan. He has the best economy, best strike rate, doesn't give away runs. He picks up wickets. Batsmen can't figure him out. So Rashid Khan is like the best bowler, one of the best bowlers in the season, I would say. But I feel that David Warner, because he's the captain, and being the captain, you in a way you more than commanding the team, you let your personality rub off to your entire team. And David Warner is that not giving up gritty guy, which I feel eventually should come down to the Hyderabad team, and they still have 2 more games. And I think that never give up attitude will rub off their team, which is Warner's attitude in my opinion, and that might help the team. So I feel that Warner has had an okay season, as Rohit mentioned, from a from the runs perspective. He scored about 436 runs, but his captaincy and his fielding, I feel, make him the most important player for Sunrisers Hyderabad. So yeah, those were my picks for